I will not be slandered! General, you saw my reports. You know it's not my fault.
The facts suggest otherwise. You were ordered to retrieve the artifact. You failed to do so.
If I had been given drow warriors instead of goblin trash!
Oi! What? You scrag!
Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling the room. Your tadpole squirms, urging you to obey.
Let me make sure I understand this. You're claiming that General Thorm gave you the wrong soldiers.
Yes. No!
You blame the Absolute's Chosen for your failure.
Of course it is not the General's fault.
Whose then?
Zarel's mind is a steel trap, but you cautiously ease your way in. You just need to shift her focus a little.
I'm being unkind. Anyone might have struggled with such imperfect tools. Goblins are prone to failure.
Yes. It's the goblins' fault. They failed you, General. Not me.
General?
Take Minthara below. Someone will have to consider her fate.
No! Please! Mercy! Please!
You were adored, Minthara. Brought up from the darkness and into the Absolute's light.
She cherished you, but it wasn't enough. You were distracted by your own desires.
Bloodlust, murder, chaos.
And most damning of all, an inability to follow orders.
I obeyed to the best of my ability!
And isn't that depressing?
You are nothing.
Minthara's mind cannot see yours. Not strong as you remember it, but fractured, disintegrating.
Come to observe, true soul. She is a lesson. None can rise so high that they cannot fall again. We are erasing her. Yes, your authority is great. We can learn, watching you break what little remains of her mind.
Immediately, your mind is swept into a greater vortex. A psionic storm with Minthara at its center.
Cannot hide, submit, embrace.
Her torturers are not dominating her. They are destroying her mental defenses and exposing her to something else. The Absolute. Navigating the storm, you reach the nexus of her mind. It is a wound, bleeding raw emotion and shattered memories. But she senses your arrival.
So it is you who will end me. Make it swift, then. Anything to silence that thing. That voice. But first, let's make these bastards bleed.
Her mind fills with warmth, and she gently releases you.
Impossible. She was broken.
I expected to be greeted as a hero. But the wretches imprisoned me and tried to tear my mind apart. I didn't think anyone would come for me. Agreed. Lead the way.
Halt!
Deal with them, or I will.
We heard she'd been escorted from her cell. Not that she could leave the tower.
The General ordered that she be repurposed, not freed.
Apologies, Trousseau. Perhaps I misunderstood the General's orders.
For the Absolute.
I last left Moonrise as a commander in the Absolute's army, obeying the voice of a god. I thought I had found a home and a purpose.
Now I leave as an exile. But you risked your life to rescue me. For that, I am grateful.
The artifact connects with her, pulling your minds together and showing her all that you have seen. The prism, your dream visitor, the protection that keeps you from obeying the Absolute and becoming a Lithid. She knows it all in a moment. Her mind reels, but is no longer clouded. She accepts the truth. She has no choice.
There is much we must discuss. Do you have a safe place to camp nearby? Goodbye for now. I will see you soon. It does not compare with the comforts of home, but your camp is almost palatial in comparison to my previous accommodation. Thank you for allowing me to come here, and for bringing me back to myself. Each memory that returns to me is more disturbing than the last. The things that I did in the name of the Absolute. The things that were done to me. They broke my mind. Precisely. While our tadpoles live, and the cult have the means to control them, we will never be safe. We must eradicate them, starting with General Thorm. I mean Ketheric. My deference to him is a habit that will die hard, I fear. All that live can die. I can help you plot Ketheric's demise, but I need something from you first. Swear that you will keep me close. Until the Absolute is dead, at least. Thank you. I knew you were different to other true souls when we met, but I could see nothing clearly. Now, thanks to the prism, the Absolute does not cloud my thoughts at all. I see that together, we can have our vengeance on those who infected us. Rest well, and keep your wits about you. Tomorrow, we go to war with the cult of the Absolute.
I do not sleep unless I wish to. Until I feel safe among this company, I shall spend my nights planning for the fights to come.
Indeed. Ready when you are. You wish to consult me? I was the Absolute's dagger. I remember every throat that it held me to, and every drop of blood it forced me to spill. I take no responsibility for the lives I took. I did nothing in the Absolute's name. I was merely a weapon that it wielded. I would rather die than endure it again. The tadpole, the Absolute, They work together like a drug. I did not feel I was compelled to act against my will. I felt ecstatic to serve. Every action seemed a deliberate choice. The best choice. Even though I could no more have resisted its commands than flesh can resist decay. Even rational minds like ours cannot reject such a powerful influence. The Absolute can make the impossible seem inevitable. I fought at his side once, shortly after my conversion. Before the battle, he was everything a general should be. A charismatic leader with a brilliant strategic mind. And when the fighting began, he led his troops from the front and cut through the enemy like a scythe through stalks. Blows and arrows rained down on him, and before long, his face was a mask of blood. But he did not fall. He did not even falter. When we won the day, Ketheric's armor was bent and shattered, but his flesh was unmarked. I have lived long enough to know that few things are impossible in this world. Ketheric's power is a rare thing, though. I have never seen its like. The necromancer Balthazar is Ketheric's chief advisor. One who has mastery over the dead may well be able to help the living cheated. We should ransack his chambers and see what secrets he keeps for the great general. I took up my oath long ago, when I swore bloody vengeance against any who defied Lolth. Now, I myself have sinned against the Spider Queen. Though my faith is shattered, my oath endures. I am sworn to destroy all those who serve the Absolute. It is not noble, it is necessary. If we do not destroy the cultists, they will destroy everything. We are all that stands between this world and annihilation. I will never tire of sitting on dead men's thrones. My blood ran hot when we broke Ketheric's bones together. But we have greater challenges ahead of us. It is clear now that he was not working alone. During my time in the cult, I came to know one of his co-conspirators all too well. Baal's bloodletter, Orin. To think, I thought her to be speaking for the Absolute. I worshipped that woman. Jealous? You needn't be. When Orin is in my hands, her agony will nourish me. She is the Iblis who indoctrinated me with the Absolute's lies. When I first visited Moonrise, I stood before the Absolute in awe. It was more of an idea than an entity. Pure love. Total power. Orin was by my side. She told me that God had chosen me to be a true soul. Blessed and adored. Now I know that those memories are lies. There was no God. Orin held me down in a cocoon of flesh, while a mind flayer forced a parasite into my brain. And she laughed at my fear. I will find her. I will murder her. And I will smile. There is no limit to my ambitions. I will enjoy killing Orin, but unlike her, I do not kill for pleasure alone. I kill to gain advantage, and we have the chance to seize the greatest advantage of all. Surely you see it. In killing Ketheric, we fractured the cult's leadership. When we break the other Chosen and claim their netherstones, we can take control. In the long history of these realms, few people have attempted anything so bold. We may fail, but we must try. The power of the enslaved Elder Brain could reshape the world. We could reshape the world. Nothing worthwhile ever came without loss. But together we have the strength to decide who loses, and to make sure it is not us. You are not stupid. When we reach Baldur's Gate and face the other Chosen, you will see that my way is the right one. The Elder Brain is the only thing that has ever managed to change my mind. You're welcome to try. We are bound, then, to travel together, even if we do not yet agree on our ultimate purpose. There is yet one thing about you that troubles me, though. Something I need you to explain.
You chose to incapacitate me rather than killing me when you eradicated my minions. Why? Sparing an enemy's life is a great risk. Even though I owe my life to the part of you that showed me mercy, it concerns me. If Ketheric had ordered me to slay you to prove my worth, I would have. Or died trying. I should not lose myself in these thoughts of what might have been. I live, and I am grateful. I do have one more question, though, before we continue.
Why come to Moonrise, where the cult's power is strongest? Why not walk away? Good. That is as it should be. Now, I am ready to leave this damned place whenever you give the word. The city awaits. I, for one, will miss the Shadow Curse. For all the pain it caused us, it did at least obscure the incessant sun. I take no pleasure in his passing. Whatever faults he may have had, Ketheric was a great leader. Of course. He ruled Moonrise for centuries. That in itself deserves respect. I believe he was an honorable man, but the gods used him as their plaything. First, Shah and her sister, then the three behind the Absolute. I sympathize. It is a sharp mind that feels sympathy for one who suffers unnecessarily, not a soft heart. I saw strength in Ketheric that had been diluted by pain, but I will never forgive him for handing me to Orin. For that, I hope Merkel hollows out his bones and lets them be dust. A true soul came to my city preaching a message of togetherness, accompanied by 2 novices. Menzoberranzan is not fertile ground for such messages. I killed them and hanged their bodies in my garden.
I would have picked prettier corpses if my intentions had been aesthetic. This was a warning against heresy. I was not content with the warning, though. I intended to wage war on their insolent god and the rest of its followers. Even as the flesh sagged and sloughed away from their eyeless skulls, their audacity infuriated me. I had to know where they came from. And whoever sent them was counting on my curiosity overcoming my caution. Yes. All it took was a simple act of necromancy, and the corpses told me where I needed to strike. Moonrise Towers. No. I was prepared for combat, but I intended to strike subtly. As it turned out, to my shame, I was defeated without even drawing my weapon. I came to Moonrise with a retinue of warriors and assassins, the best House Bainray had to offer. I expected a battle, but found a fully laden feast table and a welcome befitting a house matron. Ketheric expected us, expected me, and I fell for his flattery. I recognize my flaws. Pride is certainly among them. Ketheric proposed an alliance between Moonrise and Mensa Baranzan. I admit I was captivated by him. He invited me to the head of his table as his guest of honor. I was wary, of course. If I had been in his position, the food would have been poisoned. It was not the food I should have been wary of. It was the pale woman at the foot of the table. Orin the Red. We had barely begun to eat when she spoke for the first time. I only caught one word, my name. Then, quick as lightning, she climbed onto the table, a dagger in each hand, and skipped toward me, slicing the throats out of my men as she passed them. Few things frighten me. Orin is one of them. Ketheric held me still, his hand on my shoulder, the grip tight enough to crack the bone. When Orin stood before me, she touched the dagger to my eye, drawing out a tear of blood. "I want this one," she said. Ketheric nodded his permission, and I was taken below. You've seen the horrors of the colony. Orin kept me there for days. She forced me to watch as my men were processed. Some for food, others as thralls. And then she placed the tadpole in my eye herself. That is certain. You know the rest as well as I do. There were massacres before the Grove. Religious communities, mostly. Those who refused to convert. Then there was you, and now there is freedom. Soon there will be vengeance.
As you approach Minthara, you feel her mind reaching out to yours, tentative and curious. Then it retreats, soft as a whisper.
Sorry. Old habits. A feeling. When we first met, before Moonrise, I intruded on your thoughts without hesitation and took what I needed from your memories. I would not do that again, unless I had reason to think you were hiding something from me. And I do not. I did not think we would ever share anything more than an uneasy alliance, born of our mutual enmity for the Absolute. I was wrong. A deeper bond has grown between us. I trust you.
But I would like to touch your thoughts again, now that my mind is my own. May I? Of course. I do not hide anything from you.
Until my time in the cult of the Absolute, I had spent little time on the surface, except to raid and pillage.
I did not expect to find any outside the Underdark who saw the world as I do, and wanted from the world what I want. I did not expect you.
I have been told that I am special since my mother first held me in her arms. The burden of expectation.
Before the Absolute, I lived a life of certainties. I knew that I was destined for greatness because I was born to it. I also knew that my inherited privilege came with a cost. That the bonds of fellowship and family could be broken by envy and ambition. I could not enjoy the taste of food for fear of poisoning, and I could not enjoy the company of lovers and friends because I feared they hid knives behind their smiles. In spite of the danger, I was happy. I knew myself, and I understood the world around me. Now, nothing is certain.
Without Lolth, without the Absolute, without my home, I do not know myself. But you do, I think. Show me myself through your eyes. Let me see what I am to you.
She joins her thoughts with yours, and you are as one. You share in her strength of mind and formidable will, but also the doubts that eat at her conviction. Those doubts cluster in swarms, and the thickest is around her sense of self. She pushes past, revealing the image of her you hold in your mind. What does she see? The cold shell of Minthara's mind melts away, and you are drawn into the heart of her, warm, passionate, and dangerous.
I have never lacked confidence, but this conflict seems so much bigger than the two of us. It frightens me. I do not know if we will survive it.
But whatever life remains to us, I would gladly spend it fighting at your side and lying with you at night.
Her mind touches yours, feather light and hesitant. A stark contrast to the confidence with which her thoughts intruded on yours in the past.
Tonight, there will be no voices, no orders, no gods. I belong only to you.
You wish to consult me?
I am yours. Come to me. You give me courage.
From the still, dark waters of Lake Donegarten to the black academies of Tierbresh, it is a city of wonders and terror. But it is not my home anymore. If I were to return, I would be denied all of its wonders and shown only the terror. I am a daughter of Menzoberranzan's most ancient and powerful house, the Bainray. I lived a life of privilege and danger. My home was at the tallest point of Cuel Arzol, the place of the nobles, a plateau high above the city's sprawl. I enjoyed every luxury, whether harvested in the Underdark or stolen from the surface, and I survived my first assassination attempt while I still suckled at my mother's breast. I tasted her blood that day. She covered my body with her own, and a blade bit deep into her chest, almost puncturing her heart. When I came of age, She tried to take my life herself. And I gave her fresh scars to match those she earned protecting me. I expect so. If the world were to end, I think my mother would survive to rule over the ruins. Yes. My house trained me to be a soldier in Loth's service, and my mother showed me how to survive the perils of society. She taught me to be resilient, and to guard my heart from those who cannot be trusted, literally and figuratively. When I choose to let somebody close, I do not do so lightly. That gives a great depth of meaning to the bonds I do share. Yes. I only know it through history books and hearsay. A city of murder and grief. I expect it will live up to its legend.
Violence erupts here. My home. My refuge in this city of stone and steel. Your eyes, Stira. There is pain, endless and deep, but also devotion, blazing like the sun. You're in love, are you not? You are wise to admit it. When it comes to love, vulnerability is armor, truth a sword, and trust a shield. I pray you wield all three, Stira. Bring the one you love to me. I will look into your hearts and see if your love is eternal or doomed eternally.
I know my heart, and yours, better than this creature ever will. But we can indulge it if you wish.
Close your eyes, little ones. Be still as stone to earth. And remember to breathe. I see you. I see the bond between you. So tender, so fragile. But do you see it for yourselves? Minthara. A mask of ice hides a heart of pure fire. You do well to call her close. Listen. Think. What does the Drow miss most about the Underdark?
Not just siblings. Androcide, Senicide, Avuncularcide. I only regret I left before enjoying a matricide. That would be a memory to cherish.
Hear how your bond thrums with pleasure. Strong, vital, pulsing with affection. Many pass through our lives, their touch rippling across time. But who does Minthara admire the most?
Presumptuous, but not inaccurate. You have earned my companionship. That is no easy task.
The sweetest loves dance lightly on the tongue, but now we must dig deeper, into the most painful reaches of the spirit. Those with an icy facade hide their true selves well, but pain breaks us all in the end. What is the worst thing your love has ever done?
I do not know what weakness of mine allowed them to take me. That haunts me more than anything they did to me. Are we finished? You were only mildly disappointing. Well done.
Your bond is false, and I know why. Because your heart belongs to another. Close your eyes, and she will show herself to you.
I am yours. Come to me. I could lose myself in you.
Apologies if your heart raced more than it normally does after our last kiss.
A trace of toxin clung to my lips.
I take small doses of various toxins with my meals to build immunity. You should do the same.
You give me courage. Vengeance can be a bitter pill for a kind soul such as yours, Karlach. I pity you that you cannot savor Gortash's death. I understand. If I had been told my death is close, as you have, I would rage. Do as I would. Spend what time remains punishing our enemies. We need your strength to survive what is coming. I vow that you will have mine for as long as you can draw on it. I am yours. Come to me. What a wonderful distraction you are. You look well. Are you ready to pursue our enemies? That is your gift to me, and we are bound together until it is done. I hope so too. This bond we share. I believe it is Alurthrin. If that is so, it will last as long as we do. While Orin lives, I fear we will not last long at all, whether together or apart. We must find her and kill her. Hard to believe she is dead, after all that she did to me. I do not often doubt myself. But surviving Orin took courage and strength I was not sure I had. I could not have faced her without you. You are trying to raise my spirits. I appreciate it, but any joy the sight of Orin's corpse brings me is but a speck of comforting shade. There is little relief to be found from the heat of the storm we are caught in. While the brain is still free, and we are still infected, we will never be safe. But we can talk of this later. For now, let us be glad that we still draw breath, and that Orin does not. One part of it. A smaller part than I had hoped. You know me well. Orin could make herself a mirror to anyone she met. A perfect physical replica, down to the slightest blemish or imperfection. It was only the surface that she imitated, though. The skin and the muscle and the bone. Peel back the surface, and her madness lay beneath. She could not hide that, no matter what form she took. No matter how perfect the surface imitation, few would see themselves reflected in Orin's madness, in her soul. I did see myself there. A broken version of myself, but recognizable nonetheless. What was I when you first knew me? Before you ever knew me? A mad woman, butchering prey in the name of a god who would discard me without a thought once I was no longer of use. Baal, Lolth, the Absolute. They do not have followers. They only have victims, and they reward devotion with death. It is only because of you that I did not meet the same fate as Orin. Lost to madness and blood. If you had killed me when we first met, I would have been just one more casualty of your crusade against the Absolute. And nobody would remember me.
When we return to the surface, there is no telling what carnage the brain will have wrought. We must be ready for all-out war. No. If this is to be our end, we will die together. But do not think of endings. Think of the glorious battle to come, and rejoice that we have a part in it. We are in the midst of a battle against a being that can kill worlds with a thought, and we are still standing. I am faring exceptionally well, given the circumstances. I know that we can. If you have doubts, rid yourself of them. They are infectious. It is done. The Absolute eradicated. Vengeance exacted. We are free. No more gods or monsters. Except those of our own making.
I'm sure Mistra will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
That's the wisest idea the wizards had yet. What say you? I think we deserve a drink to celebrate surviving that horror.
Let's not forget the wine. I want to flush out my brain, just to be completely sure the tadpole's gone.
The tension dissipates. Your companions begin to relax. You feel the warmth of their relief, their joy, their peace in each other's company. And in your own heart, the restless, biting sadness that burns within you, threatening to break. You can make it till dawn. If you gather every bit of strength you have, you can survive the night. One last night to say goodbye. One last night to live.
The world wakes to a new dawn, and we are here to greet it. Not as conquerors, but as saviors. Yes, I would like that. No more gods or monsters, no devils or demons to manipulate our fate. We reclaimed our freedom, though everything was against us. What would you do with it?
Your engine screeches and grinds within your chest. The inferno is here, and there's no holding it back.
No, Karlach. I will not lose you. Not today. The engine can endure in Avernus. We can return there together and make Zariel regret ever laying eyes on you. Zariel is the last of your tormentors who lives. I will find her and punish her, whether you follow me or not. Would you have me navigate the hells without a guide? Good. We have faced so much together already. It is only right we test ourselves against an archdevil and her legions. Come, my darling. We have a realm to conquer.
Well, soldier, here we are. It worked. My engine's calmed down. I shouldn't have let you come here. This isn't going to be easy, you know. Zariel's going to come at us with everything she's got. Gods, like clockwork. They'll be on us soon, but there's just enough time. Thought I was done with these. But then, there was you. Imps are fast, but careless. Don't let them tire you out. Just get rid of them. And don't forget, you asked for this. Better let these fuckers know I'm back. And this time, I'm not alone.
invitation came, you were hip-deep in Lemure slime, swarmed by hell wasps, and about to drive the killing blow on a magma claw. Cutting through the dreadful buzz of the wasps and the screams of the damned, a familiar, comforting voice echoed in your mind. Withers, he requested your attendance in Faerun, to gather with your friends and allies, those who stood against the Absolute at your side, a reprieve from the Blood War. A few hours of respite with the stars above and good company to cheer you. Your heart can take the strain of leaving Avernus for a few short hours, but it might burst with joy to see those friends again.
Yes, my love. Are you done talking to your friends? Can we leave? I have hosted gatherings of house matrons and high priestesses who wanted nothing more than to murder one another before the night was done. I have negotiated the handover of hostages and smiled politely while sensing a dagger at my back. I thought I was equal to anything, but this is also pleasant. And I am not even sure anyone here likes me. What makes me so? My quick wit, my cold heart, my cutting insights. In truth, I have never enjoyed parties, although they do present the perfect opportunity for a poisoning. Excellent. Taste my lips. They are already laced with toxins. None shall be spared tonight, not even you. Now go. Mingle, carouse, indulge. Tomorrow we return to Avernus, and our campaign against Zariel continues. We will need all of our strength. I always have strength enough for you. Do not make me wait long. We will spend the rest of our lives together. Go, be with the others. Of course. On this occasion, you need not even earn it, my sweet. Exquisite.